Heidi Voigt in studio with us. Good to see you, young lady.
Good to see you.
All right, now, a couple of weeks ago, Brandon Johnson talked about PITI, right? Okay, payment, insurance, no, what? Payment?
Principal,
interest, taxes, and insurance.
Correct.
It's a good thing you're the realtor. Okay, what are we talking about today? Things that may affect us a little bit?
Yeah, I think that, this isn't as fun of a topic to talk about, but I think
But it's real.
It's real. So I think that, there's always opportunity for people in a market, and there's always going to be people where the market is just perfectly good for them, right? And when we're talking about the market, we're always talking about the option of buying and selling.
Right.
And you know that we're a relationship driven business, and we keep in touch with our clients. And I think that one of the things that has pressed me this year is there have been, about a half dozen conversations that I've already had this year where the influx of the increase of insurance and taxes is putting people who have been living in their homes for 4, 5, 6, 7 years, and all of a sudden they're struggling.
Really?
They're struggling to make their payment, and that could be because of a lot of other things.
Oh my, yes.
And
loss of a job,
yep,
what have you.
Yep, so I think that at that point, I'm not a economist. I'm not an attorney. I'm not an accountant, but I am somebody that
You're a person with a heart.
Yeah, people use as a resource. So
Yeah.
I've had a couple of these sit downs with people, and
That's got to be tough.
well, it is. It's and sometimes you don't know you're having the conversation until you get there, right? Like you think, oh, I'm going, and they want to know a value on their house or whatever, and you get there and you actually find out that hey, there's more to this, right? There's a little bit more to this, and it's at that point where part of my mindset is taking myself out of the sales position and saying, okay, this isn't about us putting a house on the market or buying another house. This is about let's figure out if this is a smart move or not.
Right.
And those are things that I've talked to people about. And there are options. I mean, there's not a lot of control that we have over taxes and insurance other than getting very involved in your local and state economy and saying, okay, enough is enough.
Sure.
But I think that talking to people about maybe shopping around on their insurance.
Okay.
Right?
Let me ask you this question real quick. Okay, when you are entering into your home search, right?
Yeah.
I would tell people right now, make darn sure, I was going to use a different word, make darn sure that you think about 5 years down the road,
Correct.
10 years down the road.
Yeah.
I think sometimes, when those rates were so low, people were just giddy.
Yeah.
They're just going nuts.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and so, you talked about that, thinking about that, and, we've had lots of conversations with people when you're going into a home, and let's say they're looking at a certain price, but it's going to require a lot of improvements and a lot of extra trips to Menards and the cost of that, and then talking to people about, maybe you find something that doesn't require as much maintenance, so you're not doing that. I do think that conversations of reminding people that, indeed the first year or the year and a half after you live in a house that you have bought, generally the taxes are going to go up no matter what, because the people that lived there for 10 years had a basis of tax. And when you buy that home, that is recorded at the county now as a higher valued home. So somewhere in the next couple of years, there's going to be that fluctuation, right? And there's not a huge conversation that happens in the marketplace of what that looks like. The lenders usually account for it in what they're looking at as far as total affordability.
Okay.
But we also know that most people, qualify for sometimes almost double of what they're willing to pay in their housing budget.
Anybody who has bought more than, I think, 2, maybe 3 homes in their lifetime kind of realizes that.
Oh, yeah.
That light comes on real early.
Yeah, first house we qualified for $150,000, and then I said, "What's the payment?" And then I said, "Don't people eat?" And we bought an $80,000 house.
Exactly
right.
right.
So I mean, it's a thing. But yeah, I think some of the conversations that we've been having of people that are not in a great situation in their own house right now, it's a combination of saying, okay, what other decisions can be made? Sometimes it involves actually selling that home, but those people are selling and then they're going to maybe go rent because that's the more affordable thing. the thing that I run into with people where they're saying, well, we want to sell and then maybe buy, I'll say, well, you really need to look at that, because even if you buy for way less, your payment might be the same. And at that point, are we really, gaining any ground?
Exactly right. That can't be an easy conversation.
No, but it's a trusting conversation, and I think when people kind of leave their cards on the table, it really, people feel better about it, and then they have options. Like, don't just put the Band-Aid on it immediately. You can always opt to sell, and that's what we're here for, but let's entertain some of those other options. Even going into the market into the fall here, and we're looking at interest rates coming down. Well, if you bought 2 years ago and you're at 7 point something, you might be able to actually make an adjustment on what the first part of that acronym of the PITI, the principal and interest. If you can get that to go down, maybe it offsets. Or maybe you go and get an insurance policy that has a larger deductible that might shave $30 off, or there's a lot of different
It all
options.
adds up, for sure.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what really strikes me from having this conversation with you, Heidi, is you are not one of these super tight numbers person. You are a real person that has, like I've said this 3 times already, this heart.
Yeah.
So folks, who do you want to work with, right? I would say Heidi Voigt at VoigtJohnson Real. How do we do that?
Well, I wouldn't just be me. I would say that, but I would say that anybody in our organization thinks this way.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So of course, but yeah, you can call us at 320-774-2400 or reach out online, VoigtJohnson.com.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you bet.